Hello everyone and welcome back to your year of tarot. Today we are looking at the royal family of the element of earth, our court of pentacles. So grab your deck, get comfy, get cozy, let's learn some tarot. In today's lesson we are carrying on with our court cards. We have done our court of swords, our air element, and now we are onto the court of pentacles, our earth element. The way that we find the meaning of our court cards is rank plus suit equals meaning. So the rank plus the element is our meaning. We're going to do this as we've done every lesson so far. We're going to look at the main elements, then the nuance, have a bit of a discussion and unpick the card that way. A great thing about the Court of Pentacles is the artwork wise, it's very, very different to the air cards. So you're going to see quite a stark difference in the artwork, and this is a great example as to how meanings change throughout the courts. I'm personally a very big fan of the Court of Earth. I do like those cards a lot. I'm very happy when they come up. And to illustrate my points, in each one of these court lessons, we're also going to go over the same court from a different deck, so you can see how artwork changes. For this week, I'll be showing you the Court of Pentacles from my Handel tarot deck. This is my go-to tarot deck. This is if you book a reading with me online, in person, or you come to an event where I'm reading, most likely you will see this deck. This deck is my baby. We've been together for a very long time. So I'm really excited to share the Earth Court from this deck with you. You know how this works? We're going to get straight into the cards. You might be able to see reflections from my glasses in this lesson. I need to wear them. I'm so sorry. And you might hear a little bit more background noise. I've got the windows open because it's very warm today and muggy, and the air is just very still. Starting with our Page of Pentacles. We are in the element of earth, so we are looking at the material world. Money, home, career, stability, health, those things you can touch, feel and see. Very much the real world plane of existence, the things that affect our day-to-day lives. And we are looking at the rank of Page, which is inexperienced, naive, young, energetic, hopeful, new beginner, learning about the world and themselves, the start of the journey through the court. Let's get straight into it. What are the main elements that we can see in this card? Well, first of all, we've got the page holding the pentacle very delicately, very much on his fingertips. There's a mountain in the background, we've got some trees. There's what appears to be a farmer's field in the background as well, and he is standing on a field of flowers. It's not clear what they are, but I read them as poppies. The little dots of bright red that you can often see in the distance are very reminiscent of the red poppy. What's the nuance in this card? Let's break it down. The red hat that he's wearing matches those little red flowers in the grass, which is linking kind of that grounded, real world, earthy action with the head, the planning, the intention. The singular mountain on the horizon, that could be something that is to overcome. It could be something that you have already overcome, but it is the challenge in growth, especially when it's a big singular mountain. It's a big obstacle that you can see very clearly and deciding to go on that journey anyway. The farmer's field in the background in the corner looks like it's just about ready to be planted. It doesn't look like there's a particular colour that's used to indicate that something is on there. It looks like it's ready for that new beginning, the new seed. And when we look once again at these, what I am interpreting as poppies, down at the bottom, poppies are generally a symbol of remembrance, especially after World War II, the poppies growing on Flanders Field. That's where everyone in England knows the little red poppy from. Poppies throughout folklore have links to life, death and rebirth. all of which are themes and elements within the earth element itself. They are all things that we look at when we're looking at the element of earth and that we see quite clearly. Those themes of life, death, rebirth. The page is still that new beginner, but we're in the element of earth. It's slower, it's more grounded. Rather than the air element where it was dreams and everything is kind of whooshing about, this is that slow, practical, one foot in front of the other kind of learning. We've got the field that is yet to be sown. We have got a mountain to overcome, but they're all parts of learning. And through that slow, dedicated, one foot in front of the other, there is a constant growth happening. And the way he holds kind of the pentacle, it's right up on his fingertips. There's reverence for that. There's reverence for the journey. There's reverence for what it means to be going through this journey. It also, as a card, feels very playful to me. I feel like he does embody the kind of play within learning element. When we're learning and we're not so much on an intellectual but more of a practical pursuit, we can have fun with it. We can have fun with the textures, the tactile nature of learning. The page here is encouraging us to have fun while we learn, that there is endless opportunity on the horizon, and we are part of those cycles of life, death, and rebirth. So to have fun in it, and to revel in it, and to find joy in the act of learning. As is anything in the earth element, the page can be very stubborn, that immovable from their goal. Yes, they're putting one step in front of the other, but they're so focused on the outcome that they don't watch for other paths that are possibly coming up, extra opportunities that might be presented to them. They immediately kind of shut that down and look away. That's not on their path. It's not on where they're going. It can be so focused on the outcome that you don't focus on the journey. It's more of the shadow side of that Page of Pentacles. But what questions come up with our Page of Pentacles? Firstly, what do I want? If there's boundless opportunity, what is it that I actually, honestly, truthfully want? Not what I've been told I should want. What do I want? What am I willing to give? To give up? To give to others? To give away? In order to have new things, often we need to make space. How are you going to make that space? And where is it that I actually want to go? Am I looking to try a new thing, to go to a new place? Am I looking to evolve skills in a certain area? Upright, the page is learning with play, learning by doing, practical and devoted to themselves and their task. Reversed, the page becomes uncommitted. It could be that he's not actually picking one path. He's kind of spread in too many directions, spread too thin, not focusing on anything, isn't moving you towards the thing that you want to be, the thing that you want to do, the best part of yourselves. We feel like we've already invested a certain amount, therefore we should carry on, when really that's not always the case, and that is what the page tells us. Reversed here is a warning to stay practical, to stay flexible, but allow yourself freedom to explore and to play. Let's move on to the Knight of Pentacles. So, earth element, material, physical world, money, home, career, stability, and health. Our rank is the Knight. The Knights are action orientated, emotional, high energy. They might know enough to get started, be on a few steps of their journey, but lack wisdom and experience and can sometimes get themselves into trouble. This Knight is a stark difference from our Knight of the air element. That one was in roaring movement. This one is in a very steadfast stillness. But let's look at the main elements of this card. The Knight is on the horse. It's standing very still, and he is holding the pentacle flat out in his hand, more in a presentation or contemplative style manner. The trees in the mountain is a lot further away from us now, and they're opposite compared to the Page of Pentacles, implying that we are on the other side of that first hurdle. The land is a dark, deep red, and the horse is black. These are all very important symbolic things. So what do they mean? Let's get into the nuance of the card and let's unpick a little bit more. The horses, when they're in different positions, generally have different meanings, because horses have symbology ranging throughout cultures, throughout times. When a horse is standing kind of steadfast, still and strong, this symbolizes stability. And the black horse is very significant as a symbol of mystery. Black horses can mean different things depending on different cultures and different time periods. Specifically, things like a black horse and a white horse have a lot of very clear symbology. But the black horse is normally mystery, a goal, a quest, something unknown being brought to the surface. If you've got a black horse that is stable, it's going through this process of figuring something out, uncovering a mystery, but from a very methodical, slow, considered point of view. The black horse can also be uncovering the inner self. A lot of the time you'll see black used very carefully throughout the tarot cards to mean inner work or the shadow. So this can be taking time to be steady, to be steadfast, and uncovering your shadow. The red land behind has two general meanings. Some people read it as sand, that kind of like sandy, barren desert, a place where nothing can grow, a place where you have to keep moving to get through. I very much read this as bloodied, the battles that have been fought. So if they came from the page, from the mountains and the forests, come over that, what were the battles they fought to get there? What did it take to get to this place of being able to stop and stand and to think, to take that pause? And he's contemplating the pentacle. And if the pentacle is the representation of those material world things, the money, the career, the health, the home, what is he thinking about? This is a time to pause and really evaluate and analyze what matters. I read this card as someone who's just walked away from a battle, and they're at that moment of pause, that moment of reflection, where they really sit, consider, and think about what it is that they have, where they've been, what they've done, and where they want to go next. This moment of pause is the catalyst for transformation. Questions that arise from this card is, well, what's the next step? What do I need to learn about myself? Was it worth it? And if the answer is no, do you have the strength to walk away? The upright meaning is stable, patient, pause, shadow work. So mostly if I was to summarize this, it would just be pause. But I read this personally as a card of shadow work. Now, a lot of people won't, and you absolutely don't have to. That can be just a me thing. But I do read this as a card of doing that inner work, that real time to pause, stop, look inward, do the work to transform before you can move through. Reversed, this is a card of impatience. When we reverse this card, there's a real sense of like a buzzing energy that's coming from underneath this figure. Almost knowing that they should pause, but don't quite know how. Maybe they've been on the move for so long. Maybe they've had so many real world things to have to deal with, thing after thing after thing after thing, for so long that they don't know how to pause. It could be a completely new concept to them. And there's fear and there's anxiety and there's this almost underlying shaking energy of like, I must keep moving. There's a desperation underneath it. And that's where this impatience comes from. Because while the card might look very still, this really says stillness. And then reversed, it says that the stillness is a facade. It's almost like you're performing stillness because you feel like it's what you should do. It's not what you want to do. Or you're fighting against stillness that you desperately need because you're not used to it. Let's move on to the Queen of Pentacles. So, earth element, material, physical world, money, home, career, stability, health. Rank Queen. The Queens are more emotional, spiritual, and generally more grounded. They have wisdom from this very deep inner knowing. They've done that internal work, and that has honed their intuition. They have that behind them. There's a creative and nurturing side of them. They're creative and nurturing to themselves, but also to others. This card is a really lovely, beautiful card, but you can already see compared to both the Knight and the Page, there is a lot more happening. Let's break it down, what's actually going on in this card. Let's look at the main elements. The Queen is on the throne and she seems to be more like cradling the pentacle. She's wearing very fine clothing. She is also wearing a veil that goes from her head all the way down to her ankles. There's flowers all around. It appears to be roses above, those poppies once again. There's a mountain off in the distance. And right here in this corner that's super easy to miss is a red rabbit. What does all of this mean? Let's look at the nuance in this card. Well, the roses over the top are a very clear symbol of passion. They mean different things upon different cultures. Generally, red roses are passion or love. The poppies, as we've already said, that cycle of life, death, rebirth. How material things come and go from our lives. While earth seems like a really still element, it is an element that is always in flux. It is always changing, and it's never ever still. There is a level of certainty in earth, and the only certainty that comes with earth is that everything will change. The Queen does embody this. But let's carry on. That rabbit in the corner symbolises fertility. Generally, the rabbit is a symbol of fertility across multiple cultures. But having that rabbit be completely red is significance. So we've got a rabbit, a symbol of fertility, and then it's completely red. It's a very clear link to a period and the more spiritual side of a period, which is a shedding before the next cycle of fertility can start. It's like the going inward, doing the inner work, the shadow work that the black horse represents, but the red rabbit is like the shedding that happens after the inner work is done so that something new can come from it. The veil generally can imply secrecy or protection. In this case, it seems more to be protection based. There's no distinctive elements on her throne apart from this little bit on the handle looks a little bit like a dragon's head or possibly a ram's head. But the throne itself symbolises kind of opulence. This is a card of a lot of abundance. You can see a lot of beauty here. A lot is happening all around them, and they are holding, nurturing, contemplating that pentacle. What has already happened, what real world changes have already been implemented. So what questions come up from this card? What do these things mean to me? Now, I know that seems really vague, but when you've got symbols of passion, fertility, life and death, change surrounding you, what do they mean to me? How do I relate to them? How do I relate to the concept of fertility? How do I relate to the idea of passion? What real world tangible things am I passionate about? Where am I enhancing fertility within my life? Am I enhancing fertility within a creative project, within my career, within my home? And then how can I use this to help others? She's full and surrounded by abundance. How can I share it? How can I use it to nurture, to bring forth more? How can I plant the seed? Upright, the Queen of Pentacles is a nurturing card. Nurturing the seed from which the flowers grow. She's nurturing what it means to have the earth element, surrounded by the earth element, holding the earth element, to be in control and fully immersed in the earth element, to be grounded and one with everything around you. But when we reverse this card, all of this abundance feels very chaotic. It feels like you are in complete disarray. And that's the reversed meaning of this card, disarray. We're no longer thinking about how we can plant those seeds and help others. We're drowning. Everything is everywhere, everything is chaos, everything feels way too much. We're not in a position to be able to nurture others because we're not nurturing ourselves. This can be a card that tells us that we've stopped caring for ourselves, that we've stopped caring for someone else, that we've stopped really looking at what's important. If the earth element means things like health, this could be an indicator that we're not actually caring for our health in a way that we need to be. That could be saying yes to too many things. That could be holding on to things that you really need to let go of. When we reverse this card, all that well-meaning planning, all of that abundance that's come from those slow, one foot in front of the other steps has completely fallen on top of us. And we need to let go. Next, we're moving on to the King of Pentacles. So earth element, material, physical world, money, home, career, stability, health. The rank is the king of the solid, capable, and in control leaders. They have experience behind them and a solid foundation for their emotions and their sense of self. They are stable and they can both protect and direct their suit. There is a lot happening in this card, and when we look at the Page of Pentacles next to the King of Pentacles, you can immediately see that there is a hell of a lot more happening. Feels a little chaotic. Let's break it down. Main elements in this card. The background and the foreground of this card have become one. It's all blending into each other. There's no real separation anymore. It's a very busy card. There's a castle in the background, a lot of black in this card. Robes have grapes on them. There are kind of leaves, again, foreground and on the robe. And he's holding a scepter. He's holding the pentacle and possibly wearing armor. Let's go straight into the nuance in this card because I want to discuss the first thing that comes out to me, and that is the darkness in this card. There is a lot of black, a lot of dark tones, a lot of dark colours. It's very shadowy. And as we saw from the Knight, this implies internal thought, internal action. Things are happening that the rest of the world, that others can't see. Only the person sitting there right then and there knows what's going on around them. This is deep internal work. There are roses on the crown. This is passion. And when it's on a crown, which is our kind of like one of the sovereign symbols, it's passion and love for what we're doing and for ourselves. Grapes all over the robes and kind of looks like hanging below him as well, as if on actual vines. Grapes are abundance, decadence, possibly wearing armor. And I say that purely from this shape in the corner looks like a foot in armor. So even though they're wearing opulent, soft, quite delicate robes, they have armor on underneath. They are protected. They are protecting others, even if they have this fairly soft facade. They are holding a scepter in the other hand. Pentacle one, scepter in the other. He's holding on to the earth element, and the scepter is a symbol of authority. He has authority over the element. He has authority over himself. He is sovereign to himself. The King of Pentacles has gone on a journey. All of the kings began as the page. They began as this kind of figuring it out, one step in front of the other, hoping, learning, dedicating themselves, before they went through this journey of internal and external transformation to gain the position that they're in now. The darkness in this card tells us that that journey is never truly over. While the king can be a symbol of authority, of traditional power, of the way things have always been done, the king is also a success story. He has gained all of this abundance in home, in wealth, in health, in life, through his ambition, through that starting stages and holding on to a goal. He has gained all of this. He has got to the top of his elements. He has mastered his element. What questions come up with this card? Firstly, what am I clinging to? The King of Pentacles, as a symbol of tradition, often clings to tradition and clings to the past. What traditions are you clinging to? Where did your abundance come from? What part of it was you? What part of it was other people? What part of it were things that you just can't quite explain, whether that be fate or luck? In what ways have you lost yourself? In the artwork of this card, the king is drowning a little bit. The background and the foreground are one. Everything bleeds together. When we were so focused on all these things outside of ourselves, where have we lost ourselves, our sense of self, in the things that we have, or the things that we are, or the things that we say that we are? Upright, I would summarize this card as gain. You have gained a lot. But as a secondary, ambition and tradition are very close meanings as well. Gaining through ambition and gaining through tradition. Reverse, this is a card of losing yourself and excessive materialism. Focusing so much on the earth element, but the negative aspects of the earth element. Stubbornness, rigidity, holding on to the way things have always been done, even if that doesn't fit who you are as a person. But ultimately, when we reverse this card, the king has lost himself. He's lost within the background, he's lost within the foreground. Our eyes are immediately drawn to this chaotic mess of leaves and grapes and armor, and the king's head is all the way down here with the pentacle, the things that really matter. As the head of the court, the king needs to be wary at all times of what he's gained and how easy it is to lose it. That was our suit of pentacles. Let's have a look at the Handel Tarot deck now. We're going to look at the suit of pentacles again, but in this deck. So the Handel deck does something very different. The Handel deck kind of takes inspiration from the Thoth system of tarot, which is very different to the Rider-Waite-Smith system. The main difference between the court cards in the Thoth system is that the ranks are different. It's not page, knight, queen, king. It's now son, daughter, mother, father. And it changes the pentacles to stones. The Handel Tarot deck is unique because with each court, they take inspiration from a different mythology or religious tradition throughout the world. This one take a generalized Native American approach to the court cards. Our Son of Stones in the West, the Handel Tarot also uses directions. The Son of Stones in the West is also known as the Prince of Stones. And you have Chief Seattle here, who is a real life figure, a real life activist figure. The Daughter of Stones in the West, the Princess of Stones, is the White Buffalo Woman. The Mother of Stones in the West, our Queen of Stones, which is the Spider Woman. And then we have the Old Man, the Father of Stones, which is the King of Stones. These are from sacred and specific tales, folklores and traditions. I won't go in depth into all the meaning of the Handel Tarot deck. There are 2 full books written about the Handel Tarot deck for that very reason. There is a lot to go into it. It is why I love them. Let's take a step back for a minute and let's compare the card to its relevant Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot companion. So the Sun is the Page, and we have Chief Seattle, and we have the Page of Pentacles. The way that these cards show the earth element is the artwork gives the illusion that these figures are carved into stone itself. So rather than him holding the pentacle, the Son of Stones is made of stone. This one you have got the whale, which is part of his mythology, and he looks directly at the reader. The Son of Stones in this one challenges us by looking directly at you, whereas the Page of Pentacles looks at the pentacle, the item, the thing he's aiming for. The Daughter of Stones, or the Princess of Stones, our White Buffalo Woman, links to the Knight of Pentacles here. Again, she looks directly at you. She's challenging you. Rather than horses, she has got the buffalo underneath. There's also a smoking pipe here with feathers coming off of it. Again, part of the mythology. The way this is done with the figures looking directly at you, it's a plea, it's a challenge, it's a question. Rather than these ones where they're questioning aspects of the element itself, these cards are saying you are part of the element, now question yourself. Our Mother of Stones is our Spider Woman, and for that we have our Queen of Pentacles. Spider Woman has her labyrinth all around her, and her eyes are within the labyrinth. The labyrinth is looking inward, it's looking to the spiritual, it's looking to the other worlds. And our King of Stones is noticeably different from our King of Pentacles here. For this, we don't even see a figure, we see the memory of him. We've got his footsteps carved in stone. We've got the hands at the top, which are reminiscent of cave paintings. This is tradition, but this is the way that tradition has truly endured through thousands of years, through ancestry, through time, and that's through community. There's a lot in this card with the different animal tracks that are happening. It's a card of history and memory and ancestry. It's that real set in stone attitude of the earth element that the Rider-Waite-Smith deck glances over. Whereas this one puts your ancestry and your history right at the forefront, saying that you are a product of everything that has come before you. let's briefly summarize that. Our Page of Pentacles upright, practical steps. Reversed is uncommitted. The Knight of Pentacles upright is a pause. The reversed is impatient. The Queen of Pentacles upright is nurturing. Reversed is in disarray. The King of Pentacles upright is gain. The reverse is loss of sense of self or materialism. Homework. Again, always optional homework. This week's homework is going to be to see which one of the Earth court cards you can embody the most, what one feels most natural to you. To do that, I've given you a set of journal prompts. This is very much like last week's homework. You can either answer these journal prompts and then see which card you think fits you most closely, or you can pull a card randomly and see how it challenges you to answer that question. Your 3 journal prompts are: what is my relationship to my finances or financial education? What is my relationship to my body? What does the path to reach my goals look like? Of the cards here, see which one aligns closest to you for the answer and which one feels furthest away. There is a lot that will tell you about the challenge. The card that feels most challenging, the card that doesn't fit. That is where you tend to learn the most about these cards, about yourself and about tarot. Well done for getting through lesson 14. You've met the Court of Pentacles. Next week we are meeting our Court of Wands as we continue to dive deep into the court cards. As a quick note, I just want to say thank you for your patience, because I know I had a very unexpected 4-week break. It was unexpected to me too. I had some very real life happen that I had to attend to, and it took a lot of my energy away, and I just wasn't able to create these videos. But I'm back to prioritizing myself. So we're back to creating and making these videos, which is what I love doing. Thank you everyone for your patience when I've been putting messages out and said I keep apologizing, saying I'm really sorry for when they're late, because I am sorry, because I've promised you a course. But I'm incredibly grateful for all of your patience. And I know last time's video wasn't as high quality, especially in the video. I was having so many problems, and I decided rather than to sit and re-record it, and God knows when it was going to come out, I just put it out. Even though it's not the best thing I've made, in terms of video quality, the content is still solid, and I'm very proud of the content. I'm always learning and trying to be better with each one of these. And I really hope that you are enjoying the tarot course so far. With that, have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are. And I will see you next week as we dive into our Court of Wands. Bye guys.